Hello, everybody. Welcome to Most Wanted Topics. I'm your host, Kevin Dennison. Along with me, Atomic Tommy, here at Most Wanted Comics in beautiful Bloomington, Minnesota. I tell you what, we are in one of the busiest weeks for local comic book stores and
around the country.
Around the country, yeah. It is totally time for Free Comic Book Day week. Saturday, May 4th is Free Comic Book Day, and on top of that, it's also May the 4th be with you, Star Wars Day. So we have a double whammy coming up.
We have a double whammy. You know, it's a big day. Free Comic Book Day, you know, upon us once again. I mean, just a great time for comics, a great time for shops around the nation, collectors around the nation. I mean, everybody everywhere can enjoy Free Comic Book Day.
It's time to celebrate your fandom, whatever you like, Marvel, DC, Independence. It's time to celebrate comics, all the comic people coming together, picking up your free comics, seeing what's coming out, and also the sales are going to be incredible all around the local comic shops. So if you're planning your day, make sure Most Wanted Comics is on your schedule of one of the stops to make, because we are going to have dollar books sales going on, and you can find more on our website, on Facebook, and also we are going to be doing a special, both on YouTube and on Facebook, a preview of Saturday of what we have going on Friday night at 7 p.m. So make sure you tune in Friday night, 7 p.m. so you can see the preview of what Most Wanted Comics has to offer on Free Comic Book Day as well as on Star Wars Day.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, let's jump right into things. Let's talk about some comics, Tommy.
Let's talk about comics. There's a couple of things I think we should note this week. One, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 150. I mean, the end of an era. This is the final issue of the TMNT ongoing as we know it currently. I mean, man, what an issue, what a finale. Give it a read for yourself. Let me know what you think. But wow, I mean, it gets me hyped for what Jason Aaron will do this summer when he takes over Turtles and the future for this franchise and comics. Turtles was always one of those titles that I don't think, I always thought it was a little underappreciated, you know, on weekly releases. Not enough people, I think, gave it the time of day.
It's a staple at IDW.
It's a staple, and I hope that Jason Aaron, you know, when he starts Turtles, I think that changes, and I think more people start reading Turtles. The other thing we should talk about, Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives, number 1 that came out this past week.
That was a hyped book.
It was a hyped book. I thought it was going to be a lot more popular than it was.
Yeah.
I mean, just given, you know, the way the Energon Universe stuff went and the popularity around that, I thought the monster stuff would really sort of capture some of that. But clearly I was mistaken. There is not nearly enough Creature from the Black Lagoon hype out there. It was a great read, fun, really bringing it back to those classic, you know, monster era days.
For the old souls like myself and the infamous Kent.
The infamous Kent.
You know, I mean, the horror genre was big back in the day. From your creepies, from your eerie's, the EC comics, from all the horror tales from the crypt, all that stuff. Creature from the Black Lagoon was just one of those monster books that we all loved, and apparently the younger generation didn't get into it as much as we did. So
it was, you know, this book and how it was received. I mean, it begs the question: is this era just too old? I mean, is it?
No.
Is it just too old? Well, think about it. Transformers blew everyone away, succeeded everywhere.
Again, that's my generation, not yours.
Well, exactly, but nobody really cared about Creature of the Black Lagoon. So is Creature of the Black Lagoon just too old?
No, it's because they just weren't exposed to it. Like, that's not those books and the movies, the old black and white horror movies. The kids aren't exposed to that now. There is a little bit of that on the old antenna channels that you can get with some of the old movies like that, but they just aren't exposed. Like now with streaming, the generations that came up now can stream G.I. Joe, they can stream Transformers, they can stream all the 80s shows that we watched. They can't really get all those horror movies, and they aren't exposed to them as much as they are like the current cartoons that like the ones that transcend from generation to generation. So I guess it just comes down to exposure. I mean, half the people you ask today, like, You knew Francis Manapul was going to be coming up doing a cover soon on Creature from the Black Lagoon. So you have a reason to get into it because one of your favorite artists is going to be doing a cover coming up here. But that being said, how much did you know about Creature from the Black Lagoon before it came out?
Nothing.
Okay, so that's just my point. We grew up with it, and I didn't do a good job exposing it to you. It's not like I forced you to. You need to watch Black Lagoon, Tommy. You gotta watch Frankenstein, all this stuff. So, with that being said, but now Transformers, you had the toys that we played with that we passed down to you. You have the streaming with all the cartoons that was passed down to you. So you had all the greatness.
Exactly, but and this is where we go to turn the point. Maybe it's not too old, but then is it too niche of a?
Well, we're gonna find out
of a market because I
think people now. I think people are, maybe will come back to it, and I think maybe they'll. Image has a good thing going right now. And so I think people will come back and they will give it a try. I think the hype just wasn't there because there was nothing to spec on it. There's no movie. There's no hype specs about it.
Well, there doesn't always that's not really. I mean, there doesn't always need to be, right?
No, but there's usually a drive with some sort of spec related down the road, right? So there's usually also if Deadpool comes out with there's some sort of spec coming out down the road with Deadpool, so it's going to be hyped up. X-Men, same thing, whatever. You didn't have any spec or any type of thing. This is just straight up. If you're an old school monster fan and that type of genre fan, Image came out with a banger. And it's awesome because it brings you back to the old comics. And so I think that's just kind of, it is kind of a niche market that's going to read it right now. And maybe some people will start reading it and enjoy it and jump onto it. But Image has plenty of other things on the plate that they're doing well with. And plus, we had an email from a person, and we, to his credit, we don't give these independents enough. They're doing great work right now. Marvel and DC, yeah, whatever their staples. But look at IDW. How often we don't talk about the Turtles enough? Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Dick Tracy that came out this week. Okay, and congrats, Brent Schoonover, local Minnesota artist, doing a bang up job on the cover. There are independents. And they're doing great work, and we just don't have time to talk about them all, but we're going to give them their due today.
Yeah.
And so, Creature from the Black Lagoon, it was a good comic. If you've never read it, heard of it, give it a try, see what you think.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't say it's not that there's no spec behind it, because there are plenty of independent titles that really succeed without speculation. Look at Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, by Jason Aaron. That book sells. I mean, everybody likes that. World Tree. I mean, these books don't have any spec behind them, and they're
Something's Killing the Children.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really popular story, but that's a total mind blow. That freaks you the hell out. That is a mind warping read that scares the shit out of you.
Right, but that's a good way. That's a good way to put it. But I just think Creature is just too niche of a market that. Is older now. It's an older thing. It's not current like maybe Transformers is. So I think it just might be a little too old and irrelevant.
Well, and it's a different type of horror too, because it's a different type of horror because it's not the people today expect horror to be all blood and guts and just scary and really scare the shit out of you. This is just the Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's a monster.
That's true.
So it's a toned down. When you say horror, it's not like, okay, spoiler, something's killing children. We're not imagining in our head looking at a child getting ripped apart, not being able to see the monster that's doing it. You're just watching your child getting ripped apart. That's pretty scary. Black Lagoon, it's not ripping children apart.
It's a fun scary.
Yeah, it's just the old-fashioned horror.
Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed Creature. I just don't know how well it's going to do. I think there's going to be plenty. I think you're right. I think there's going to be people that will come back in a week or two and say, "Hey, do you still have Creature #1?" Sure, we got 11 copies left, but I think at the end of the day, I'm not sure how this is going to do. Dracula was really popular, but I think that was also partially because of the writer.
Well, look, even Babe Ruth struck out once in a while.
That's true. So we'll see.
Sometimes you can get a base hit, not a home run.
We'll see.
But it's all good. I think it's a good read. Check it out. They're doing a bang-up job over there. But other than that, let's get on with the next.
Let's talk about what comes out this week. It's a big week. We're into May now. Can't believe it.
May is
coming
here.
Into spring,
Free
summer.
Comic Book Day coming up.
Free Comic Book Day this week. Deadpool and Wolverine World War III #1, a new miniseries featuring those two just in time for the movie. Not that the movie was going to be World War III centric, but that's just a new thing coming out. Blood Hunt #1. This is a big one, folks. Marvel's big story, big event for the summer kicks off in Blood Hunt. It's a vampire tale. Marvel Zombies, but with vampires is sort of what I understand it to be. That starts this week. Also, Get Fury #1, new Nick Fury title, a character I don't think they do enough with. Starts this week. That is May the 1st.
All right. You know what we're going to do? We're doing something fun. We're kind of throwing back here, talking about nostalgia. We had a debate in the store about favorite Power Rangers.
Yes, we did.
And for this topic, I'm out because that's not my jam. But fortunately, the Mighty Mafu loved the Power Rangers, and you love the Power Rangers. And I know there's a lot of people out there that still read the Power and love the Power Rangers. So we're going to talk about and start the debate, the best Power Ranger series.
The best series. We're going to get it started.
So I'm going to turn it over to the Mighty Mafu, and we'll be right back.
All right, Matthew, let's talk Power Rangers here. Settle this debate once and for all. You know, it really did kind of get heated in the store when you were talking about it. We had some serious Mighty Morphin fans in here. And look, you Mighty Morphin fans, I'm sorry, but you're just not going to like what I have to say, okay? I am not a Mighty Morphin fan. The 90s kids might have to leave the video because...
Cover your ears.
Because we're not Mighty Morphin fans here. But... let's settle this debate. Now, you grew up with Power Rangers. I grew up with Power Rangers. We're 5 years apart in age, so definitely different shows. My Power Rangers, my definitive, my classic Power Ranger Samurai. We will get into it further. We're just setting the stage right now, but my Power Rangers is Power Ranger Samurai. You were a little bit later. You were more Dino Charge.
Yeah. I grew up watching Dino Charge and that Super Dino Charge.
Super Dino Charge, yeah.
Because I never understood why that it was just regular Dino Charge and then just Super Dino Charge. And then they did the same thing with the Samurai where they had regular and
that was like
super.
their season 2, right? They would have the season 1, which was regular, and then they'd have the Super. But see, you were kind of at the tail end of like the Nickelodeon Power Rangers era before it moved to Netflix with like the Beast Morphers and the Ninjas.
Ninja Steel.
Ninja Steel, thank you. See, that's kind of when I tuned out.
I didn't watch a lot of that show.
Let's give you guys the timeline here. So I started really tail end of Power Rangers RPM, which is a classic. One of my favorites. Probably the second favorite for me is RPM. Just given how unique it is compared to everything else in the series. And then I was full on in Samurai. I mean, we're in it at this point. I mean, I got the toys, I got the role play. Me and my cousin at our grandparents' house mimicking the moves. I mean, I'll tell you what, we are in, right? And then Megaforce comes in, and we kind of all know how Megaforce played out. But to be honest,
I kind of like Super Megaforce.
I didn't mind Megaforce. I was kind of tuning out. You know, I was getting a little older then. I was like 10, 11, so I was kind of tuning out at that point. But, I was actually probably a little bit older than that because Megaforce would have been 2013, 14 maybe.
About that point.
Maybe 2015. I'm done. So, but the point is, at that point, I was kind of tuning out a little bit, and that's exactly when you got into Power Rangers, which would have been Dino Charge.
Yeah.
Tail end of Megaforce.
Yeah, because I did watch Super Megaforce on Netflix because Netflix would put out a lot of the old Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin, Samurai, Dino Charge, and even some of the older ones like Mystic Force.
Mystic Force was a classic. Mystic Force was great. And I gotta tell you,
there was another ninja one. I think it was called Ninja Force. I can't really remember.
Yeah, I'm a little foggy on that one too. But
yeah,
the point is, I mean, there was some right now. My favorite Power Rangers is Samurai. I think we can probably deduce that by now. It's what I grew up with. It had the best theme song. Okay, of every Power Ranger show, it had the best theme song. I mean, the guitar, it was amazing. I really liked the sort of it was great. What's your favorite?
Dino Charge, but I didn't have much of the role play stuff. I did have the sword.
Yeah,
and then I had one of the little Dino morpher. Well, not the gun, but the, what do you call them? Discs. No, not this. Like the little cylinders.
See, by that point, our mother was done. She was over Power Rangers. She couldn't take it anymore, so she just wasn't gonna buy us any of the toys. But again, we're not too far apart in age, so we're kind of the same Power Rangers era. But we cannot forget some of the classics. Again, RPM is probably number 2 for me.
Especially when they cross over with the Samurai in that special movie.
They did with that special movie with Samurai. I think it was called Rise of the Red Ranger or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was called that.
And it was Samurai and RPM, just amazing. Again, Mystic Force. I loved Mystic Force too. That was one of my favorites to rewatch. I just, In Space Rangers, Power Rangers in Space.
Space Rangers, yeah.
The In Space.
Wild Force.
Wild Force was good. But again, we weren't huge fans of Mighty Morphin. And here's the thing. I just couldn't get into it, right? By that point, by the time I was watching Rangers, there were so many shows that, again, to me, to younger me, Mighty Morphin just felt too old. And now, I'm sorry, I know we're on a bit of an age thing here right now where we're talking about things that I think are too old.
Like Creature.
Keep in mind that I do not think that anymore, okay? This is coming from the mind of an 11-year-old. So to me, Mighty Morphin just felt too old. And as I got older, and especially now, like if you look at Power Rangers now, they can't, they're on the nostalgia trip and they can't get over Mighty Morphin. Everything in Power Rangers today is Mighty Morphin centric. And I think that, and that's to keep the Power Rangers fans happy. But the problem is, it's just old now,
It is.
Mighty Morphin had its time, but it's time to let it go. And they just can't do that. And it's really getting old. And it's honestly just getting less appealing to me as time goes on.
Yeah.
Because, they never really made an attempt to grow Power Rangers outside of sort of the really kid-friendly, young audience sort of stupid stuff.
Samurai tried that just a little bit most of the time.
No, every Power Ranger is the same, okay? It's really stupid stuff meant for kids, right? And they never really tried to grow out of that. Even in the movie that came out, which I didn't think was all that bad, it was like they want to try and make it a little more darker, a little more realistic, but it's also Power Rangers, so we can't go too far, And it's like,
yeah, but
they never really made an attempt to grow out of that phase. And I think it's coming back to bite them in the butt a little bit.
One thing I did not like about Mighty Morphin, and cover your ears, is that after the Rangers basically just defeated the monster, it just grew up into a kaiju Godzilla size, like just calling Godzilla.
That's what makes
just
it so
to fight
cool.
him and just take a 5-minute break and not even calling the Megazord.
That's what makes it so cool. You get 2 boss fights. You get the first boss fight, and then they go super big and get the second boss fight with the Megazords.
I don't know.
Cool.
I thought Samurai had the better Megazord.
Samurai, I think, is the best Power Rangers overall.
I don't know.
If we're gonna get down to the meats and bones, Power Ranger Samurai is the best.
I thought that Megaforce and the Super Megaforce was good because I had some of the Megaforce toys.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here, okay? Megaforce was good. I thought it was good, but a lot of people didn't think it was good, and rightfully so. It was kind of stupid. It was,
introduced the first Silver Ranger.
Let's keep it real here, right? All Power Rangers is dumb, but I think of all of it is less. Megaforce is more dumb, I think, than the rest of it. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap this up here.
Yeah, because Mom's giving us the look of
our mom, who's also our producer, is not enjoying herself right now.
Yeah, she's giving us the look of death.
But let's recap here, right? Power Rangers, we grew up with it, we love it. The best one, I think, is Samurai. What do you think the best one is?
Dino Charge, because I like the idea of robotic dinosaurs. Just like the Dinobots, but one that could transform into a giant Megazord. And they introduced new Rangers along the way. They even had a caveman as the Blue Ranger. How cool is that?
That's what I will give Dino Charge credit for. They were a lot more creative with their characters than just simply, high schoolers or you know what I mean? Like, they were different characters. They were cool. They were unique, and I liked that about Dino Charge. So we got 1 vote for Samurai here. We got 1 vote for Dino Charge. I know we're going to have a ton of votes for Mighty Morphin, but let me know in the comments what is your favorite Power Rangers show, and let us know what you think about our take. And, thanks for talking.
Well, it was fun to talk Power Rangers because we hardly talk about it.
We hardly get to talk about Power Rangers.
Especially in our household.
It's a banned topic, okay?
It is. Really, I'm not joking.
It's a banned topic. All right, we'll see you next time.
All right, see you later.
All right, I'm glad I'm back. Got to have a couple of cocktails, so I didn't have to hear that segment. That was.
He's not a Power Rangers fan. He's not a Power Rangers fan either.
No, you know what? But hey, shout out if you like what you're seeing. Make sure you like us. Make sure you subscribe to us, and please do comment. We want to hear what your favorite Power Rangers was. We really do want to. It was a heck of a fun debate in the store. We'd like to hear what the world has to say. So go ahead and give us your feedback. We have fun with this stuff. We want to keep having fun with you guys. So let us know. And I want to give a shout out to Matt and JD, Sonia and Trevor and everybody out there. Logan, I want to say a special hi to you. We're going to be interviewing you coming up pretty soon. Scott and the boys. Hey, I tell you what, May the 4th be with you on Saturday. We're going to remember our special show on Friday night previewing what we're going to have on Free Comic Book Day and the sale we have and everything going on. So make sure you check us out on Friday to see what we have going on in the store for a special episode of Most Wanted Comics and
Most Wanted Topics,
but we're focusing on the store, so I'm just going to call it Most Wanted Comics today on Friday. So anyway, with that being said, we'll see you Friday night, everybody, and have a good week.